Beginning of last year doesn't seem that long ago, but the truth is that that's when we started the Watson business unit. So we're a pretty young team. We did a number of things there. One of them was that we opened a brand new office specifically built in Manhattan and New York City to house Watson. When we talk about Watson, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So let me try and be a little bit precise about that. We talk about Watson as creating this partnership between man and machine. And that can sound a little bit daunting because Watson is a cognitive computing technology. You might otherwise think of it as artificial intelligence. And we all know what artificial intelligence is. We know what cognitive means. We know what robots are because we've read 1984. We've seen the Terminator movies. We've read Brave New World. And every single vision of this sort of future is a dystopian one, right? So I'm here to try and assure you that we see the future as actually being positively beneficial for humankind. Accelerate the human experience, to scale what we as human beings are capable of doing, to help what we can do, to help us make better, faster, more informed decisions. But as of 2011, we say that we're entering this new era of cognitive computing, of which Watson is at the forefront. This is going to be about teaching computers to interact with us on our terms. So Watson can make sense of those images by recognizing, for example, the difference between a picture of a building, a car, a person, a landscape. And then it can go a level deeper than that. Let's say there's a stack of images, all of, let's say the portraits of everybody in this room, and be able to pick out the picture of Jonathan from amongst hundreds of similar sorts of portraits. Also to make sense of some of the tagging, to make sense of where the picture was taken, when it was taken, put all of that together, ultimately to understand images rather than the traditional challenge which computers have been faced with, which is understanding numbers and maybe text, but mainly numbers. Hello, you must be Watson.
Yes, I am. How can I help you?
Well, we spoke earlier. You said to show you this QR code.
Thank you. Nice to meet you in person, Jonathan.
Nice to meet you too. I thought you'd be taller somehow.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
Okay, so about that replacement card.
Of course, down to business. I can print that out for you right now. Is there anything else I can help you with while we're waiting?
That's great. So, yes, when I was on the plane, I saw an advert for a Smart Planet travel credit card, and I travel a lot. Is that a good choice for me?
Well, I don't get out much personally, but I'm told it's very good for busy travelers. Would you like to see the details?
Yes, please.
Sure. Here you go. As you can see, you collect Smart Planet points for every dollar that you spend on the card. Would you be interested in applying?
Well, it looks pretty good, but are there any other perks?
As a Platinum member, you get access to airport lounges, complimentary Zone 1 boarding, and upgrade eligibility.
Okay, and
As a Platinum member, you get access to airport lounges,
so
complimentary Zone 1 boarding, and upgrade eligibility.
Great, and does my traveling companion get those perks as well?
Yes, if they are on the same itinerary, they have the same benefits as you.
Awesome. So can I apply for that, please?
Sure. Let's start the application process. I have pulled up your address details. Can you confirm that this is correct?
Yes, that looks good.
Great. I now need you to confirm some sensitive information to complete your application. Please ensure that no one else can see the screen. Is it okay to proceed?
No, no one's looking. That's fine.
Great. Are these the correct details?
Yep, that looks good.
This focus on having people and computers work together, and I like to call them collection of cognitive agents, is what's been driving our research agenda for the last several years. And how do you actually bring this analytics on the 80% of the data that's around us that we aren't really tapping? And that's really what's helping organizations to become more cognitive. If you think about our Watson system that won the Jeopardy game, it consumed 80 kilowatts of power. A typical human being in the brain, 20 watts of power. So we actually can do a lot more than computer systems because we have a lot of smarts packed into our brains. So we're using some of that knowledge to build the next generation of cognitive computing chips. So we've been using many of our cognitive technologies in healthcare. Financial services has been an early adopter. Governments are beginning to use. In fact, I found out that Singapore, millions of its citizens can use the Ask Jasmine application to go find out more questions about your taxes. And this is something I found out earlier today. So the scenario that Jonathan mentioned is alive and well. And once again, I think you see some early adopters here. What you're seeing here is a collection of interesting technologies that our researchers are working on from around the world in the area of how do you do lead generation? What about wealth and asset management? How can you do risk analytics? How do you do equity research? This is just one of 700 experiments that are happening. So when we talk about humans and people working together and scaling and augmenting expertise, this is how an average financial planner could look like he's one of the best. So if you think about a big company that has got 30, 40,000 financial planners, maybe about 300 are really, really good. And how can we use Watson to actually help the rest of them do better so you can increase assets under management? So that's an example of how. So I'm going to try this live. So as always, if it's a demo, things could happen. But let's see what Watson comes back with here. We have close to 100 cognitive agents in the lab, some reading websites, some extracting information from structured databases, others from unstructured databases, and collectively, using many of the services in the Watson Developer Cloud and the new ones the researchers are cooking, we're building an immersive environment where experts and cognitive agents together make significant decisions that are a lot easier to. Not only is Watson listening, it looked at what was going on and said, based on what we've taught it about mergers and acquisition, it came back and said, I think you need to drop that company, even though that company was one of the ones picked by the M&A expert. Key point is cognitive systems scale and augment human expertise. Think about Watson on your shoulder or in your pocket, helping you be smarter. Second, join IBM in the Watson, in the journey into cognitive computing. Go check out the APIs at the Watson Developer Cloud, add your own, and accelerate the move into cognitive computing. And what we just showed you are a few things in IBM Research that's fueling the next 100 or 200 APIs that will come over time. And clearly, financial services is an early adopter. We talked about lots of interesting areas where we could use. And as an executive, if you think about what you need to do to outthink the competition so that you can be competitive, serve your customers better, cognitive computing will play a part in that particular future. Thank you very much for joining this journey.